Ever walk into a setting where your emotions get all thrown off, like you don't know what to think, you don't know if to feel sad or concerned, kind of tripping a little bit, you don't even, your emotions are all over the place. I just went into a rehabilitation center where like 99% of the people were advanced seniors, and they were there rehabilitating. I got to walk in and I went through a lot of rooms and stuff. It hit, and I was trying to, like, at the moment I was just embracing it and watching and letting myself just feel what it was naturally and organically gonna feel. But then afterwards I was like, okay, what am I supposed to get out of this? Once I got back into my car, I was like, wow, that's like my body went into, or I should say, I went into, it almost kind of felt like that story of where you go to the Christmas past, Christmas present, and Christmas future, but with a lot of, not just me as the character, I saw a lot of people there. They were in a setting where they were vulnerable. They were in bed. Some of them were asleep. Some of them were doing their best as they were rehabilitating, walking, moving, conversating. You see all the hustle and bustle, the nurses, the employees and stuff. But mostly, I think the part that touched me the most is it was the energy, the vibe. I compared it a lot to, like, crazy when you go see like a newborn and you go to the section where all the babies are. Right? The energy is different. That's at the beginning of life. And these folks right here, and not to say that they're at the end of their life, but they've lived their life, and the energy is different, but similar. It's calm, but there's not that. It's a different kind of a calm. It's a calm, we got this. Over here is like a calm, wow, this is amazingly new. I felt that, and I was like, okay, none of these feelings that I'm feeling are bad. They're not negative. They're just there. So which is why I embraced it as much as I could. And I didn't feel any kind of sorry for anybody or sympathy or anything like that. It was more like support, like get it, handle it. That's so cool that you're here. How do you see me? A couple of people, we made eye contact, and I smiled. Some folks I waved. There's this lady singing as she was getting coached to take steps, to take bigger steps, to march a little bit, and she was singing "When the Saints Come Marching In" as the therapist was telling her to, raise her feet a little bit more, with a lot of good energy, a lot of good smiles. And you see the age difference. It's like I was older than the coach, than the technician, the nurse, whatever his title is, the guy who was guiding her. He was younger than me. I was older than her, but she was older than me. So it's like different levels to it, and not so much that, oh man, I'm going to be there one day, because that's not necessarily true. I have a lot of homies that will never be old. I have a lot of friends that, family members that will never get to say, like, oh, when I get old. That's not going to happen. They're not here no more. R.I.P. Like, will I get there? I don't know. And even to say, man, I'm going to get there. Is that a bad thing? That's a blessing. That's a blessing to get there. They made it. They've been my age. I haven't been there. So that's not a thing. Like, almost like a whole scare. You're going to be, man, that's a blessing. But they're there. And they're doing it. And they made eye contact with me. I saw them and I was like, whoa, like, you made it. They're looking at me. I don't know what they're thinking. They'd probably be thinking, man, what's this weirdo doing here? What did he bring me? I don't know. What would I think if I put myself in their shoes? That's another emotion I was feeling. I was laying there and I put myself at 100, looking out, going, man, look at that guy. Kind of like I saw the younger guy helping out that lady. Like, wow, what a job he chose to do, or he has to do, or he's doing, period. I don't know what his situation is. He had good energy. I don't know where he's at emotionally, or what he wants to do with his life, or where he's at, or what challenges, issues, and celebrations that he had today. But I went through all that. He's here. He's here. I'm walking through. He's here in the middle of he's knee deep in his thing. I don't know what time he's off, or what he came in, or how long he'll be here, how long has he worked, but he's there. And he's younger than me. He's looking at me like, what? What's he thinking? Oh, look at this dude just walking by. What's he doing here? Is he visiting? Is he doing, what does he do? I don't know. And it's not so much that it matters, but again, it's just going through my emotions that I was feeling. That guy's working here. He's younger. He's doing his thing. I remember being that age. There I go. I remember being his age. He was probably maybe like, I don't know, 15 years younger than me. That's a chunk. Was was the senior folk looking at me going, hey, I remember when I was his age, walking around with the hoodie and the hat. It was this waterfall of emotions from like putting myself, I have this thing of putting myself in different shoes. Like, okay, how am I going to feel there? Currently, I try my best to feel there. How is he feeling? I've been there. What about all these people? You could tell the folks already, even some folks had that energy, that look on their face that it's just their job. They're gossiping, they're talking, they're doing their thing. Some of them, you could tell they don't want to be there. Other of them are just, they're really embracing it and enjoy being there. But it was just this energy. It was just this energy of just like ages and levels in life and chapters in life. And then just made me appreciate towards the end, as I was walking out, I really went into this appreciation mode. I appreciate that I still, that I have my parents. I checked in with them yesterday. I went back and forth, that they're into technology, that I could text my dad. That this is another country and I could check in. That he was, all these things, that I get to see him be an age that he never probably imagined he'd be. I'm sure he looks at me just like I look at my kids and remember, wow, I remember when I was 20 something. I'm sure he looks at me and says, I remember when I was 40 something. I was doing this at your age. What are you dragging your feet for? You should have been way ahead. I don't know, or like, wow, you've done so much different things. He's also mentioned that, and you've done so many different things. I wish I would have done those. And you kind of go back and forth. I wonder how it's gonna be to, I've been there. And I started appreciating like where I'm at today. What am I doing right now? In the sense of existing. Like, what have I experienced? I've experienced being 10, 20, 20s and 30s, and now my 40s, and being a young dad, having teenagers and little kids and young adults. And a matter of fact, the blessing of having a boy and a girl, that's, and that's a thing. And being able to exist right now in the holiday season, I know some homies that are not here during this holiday season, that the last holiday season was their last holiday season. Relatives, loved ones. It's just like, and family, that same thing has happened to them. They were here, now they're not. Now we're all gonna go through that, so that's a thing too. So that's a blessing. Like, I'm still here. I'm liking this ride. This is kind of cool. This is really cool, actually. So you start appreciating that. All kinds of emotions. So when you feel emotions, don't like, oh, that's so sad. Not necessarily. Like, it's an emotion. Feel the emotion. Embrace the emotion. This world is full of emotions. Don't let it consume you. Because there's one of my kids' coaches back in the day, and I'll remember, and it's a line that I've used for a lot of things. Like, don't ever get too excited. Don't ever get too bummed out. Just keep it in the middle. And it's true the same with these emotions. When I used to like, don't think that. Don't think about that right now. It's sad. Don't think about that. It's gonna, nah. Feel the emotions. Wherever your mind and your heart and your emotions want to go, let it. And look around more. Don't like, I'm going to look straight. No, I made it a point to look left, look right. I wasn't being nosy or nothing, but I was looking around, left and right, embracing the smells, the energy, the people, the floor, the colors of the walls, the decorations, how they arrange things, the equipment that's there. A bunch of wheelchairs, Currently, there's not one wheelchair at my house, But there was a bunch of them, walkers and wheelchairs and balance little bars to hang on to. All kinds of therapy equipment, medical staff, the noises, the sounds. I embraced everything because of how it made me feel. How is it making me feel? Now again, I wasn't letting any of these emotions consume me, because I learned that from Suhei, my wife. And don't let no emotion consume you, because that's unhealthy. Keep it in check, keep it in control, but feel it, because it is part of this world. Emotions are there to feel so you can absorb and learn everything there is to learn from this emotion. What's there to learn? Well, stay on your purpose. The version that you would respect and admire, what would he learn from the situation? If you're looking at it as a movie, which life is, you're creating a movie. Your character, which is you, in this situation and what he's feeling, What would you want him? What would you admire that he'd learn? What would you respect that he would learn? The way he walks out of that and what he gained out of that emotional driven situation and the story that he tells of how he felt. What would you look at and be like, damn, that's dope. That's my character right there. I admire that fool. I respect that fool. Now be that character and embrace and absorb all there is to absorb from that emotional situation. So you can carry that lesson now. That lesson is a scar. That lesson is weathering. That lesson that you learned from that emotional situation, now you could turn around and express it in a different way, whether it be on a video or with loved ones, people that look up to you, people that you kick it with, that you talk to. And it's not just an emotionally consumed experience that you had, like, oh, it was so sad. If it consumed you, then that's what you're going to be expressing. What did you gain out of it? What did you gain out of it? It was a consumed, emotionally consumed event, and it just, I lost it. It was too much. Like, you didn't gain nothing out of it. It did you. But if you embrace it and you learn from everything, all the surroundings, everything that there is to feel, now you walk out of there with wisdom. What wisdom? What you gained out of all the emotions. It's coming towards the end of the year. A lot of us gather with family. Any family that's still here that you gathered with is 1 year, including you, is 1 year older than they were from the last holiday season. Absorb those emotions. Everyone's a little older. Everyone has in different things. Maybe they have different scars. Maybe they have different things, that emotional scars or physical scars that they went through. Embrace them. Let it feel what you're supposed to feel. Have compassion, understanding, love, patience. And learn what there is to learn from that moment, from these moments that won't happen again. Because what about next year? Aren't they going to happen again? Yeah, but everyone's going to be 1 year older. And they're going to have more scars and more weathering, and it'll be different. This season won't ever happen again. And whoever's here, enjoy them, including yourself. Enjoy yourself being here in these moments. And if we're lucky enough to be here next year, do the same next year. But there may be one or more people that won't be here and the next cycle, the next holiday season. Enjoy these emotions wherever they're at, whether they're up here, whether they're down here. Embrace them. Don't let them consume you, and gain as much as you can out of them.